South Africa's newest passenger airline, Lift, is set to conduct its first flight between Johannesburg and Cape Town tomorrow. Launched in October, the airline is expected to operate 3 local routes, including the busy Johannesburg-Cape Town legs. It's set to compete with the likes of Fly, Safair and Kulula. My colleague Rofhiwa Madzena is at OR Tambo International Airport. She's with Lift's co-founder, Gidon Novick. Rofhiwa, good afternoon to you. And this is probably, given the state of the worldwide industry, the worst time to launch an airline. But your guest will have a different view, no doubt.
He obviously has a very different view, Jeremy, saying, as you've just said, the worst thing to do in the current climate. What made you get into the space and launch Lift, given what we're seeing in the aviation space?
Well, I think lockdown gave some of us a lot of time to think, sit at home and think about what could be. Obviously, the travel industry's been pretty much decimated over the last 6 to 8 months. And there feels like there's a real opportunity to create something fresh and new in the industry, and also be comfortable about the fact that people ultimately want to connect with other people, and they will get back to visiting their friends and family in different places. They will get back to exploring different parts of the world, and hopefully exploring our beautiful country as well.
Yeah, and what does set you apart as Lift, because you are competing with the likes of Kulula, Fly, Safair. What would make me as a customer choose Lift over the other low-cost airline?
Well, we're much better looking, basically. But apart from that, firstly, flexibility. We realize that it's really important for our customers to know that when they make a booking, they have the ability to change that booking, cancel that booking with no extra fees, no extra fuss. So that's one thing we've introduced to the market. But I think more than that functional benefit, we want to introduce an attitude to the market. And an attitude is about an attitude of uplifting our people, uplifting our travelers. South Africans need a boost. We've had a rough time. And this is a fresh brand. It's a brand that's collaborating with other brilliant brands in the market, like Superbalist for our crew kit, and Vida E for our morning coffee. So it's going to be around the brand and the customer experience.
Yeah, and I'm glad you bring up the collaborations, because I'm wondering if the partnerships and the collaborations that you've created to make sure that Lift stays in the skies, if that's going to be one thing that does keep the business going, despite many of the challenges that you may face.
I think so. There's so many incredibly talented and capable South African people and businesses, and part of what we want to do is showcase them. We've got these incredible wine farms. They've been struggling through COVID with their products. We're going to feature fresh new wine farms on our flights and just really show South Africa off to South Africans.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the cost. So I was online this morning and having a look and comparing costs of tickets, and your costs are actually really, really affordable, about 695 Rand starting off. And I just wonder, is that something the South African consumer can continue to look forward to, that you're going to keep costs as reasonable and as affordable as you possibly can?
I think they will go up. I think at the moment there's an oversupply in the market, and that obviously drives prices down. I think as the supply gets closer to demand, and demand's obviously building post-COVID. So it's an economics thing. At the moment there's more supply than demand, so the prices are very low, but that will change over time.
Yeah. Now, just a final thought from you. You have mentioned that South Africans want to connect, and they will travel, and there will be an uptick. But just your views on the medium to long term for the aviation industry. Lots of mistakes have been made, and I just want to get a sense from you what you think the space is going to look like in the medium term.
Well, it's so difficult to predict, and that's why having a model, firstly, that's flexible, that can grow very quickly and also reduce very quickly if it needs to, is really, really important. It's just about impossible to predict demand in the current environment. Hopefully there's going to be a vaccine. Hopefully people are going to get back to full normality. Hopefully international tourists are going to come back to South Africa. But in terms of the timing, it's still very uncertain.
Very, very uncertain times indeed, but here you are. Tomorrow the first flight will be in the skies. I think it's to Cape Town, is it not? That's right, it's going to be in the air tomorrow morning at the first flight to Cape Town. That is, of course, the co-founder of Lift, Gidon Novick, giving us a sense of the reasons that they've started this particular airline and the outlook for the aviation space.